we fixed it. Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing today? It's good to see you all again. Even as the bot does her thing. Unsubscribing due to incorrect title. Yeah. It's fine. And time to save our boy. Exactly. If a single bad thing happens to him, I'm not going to be having a good time here. He doesn't deserve to be done like that. It's not his fault that we ignored what we were told. Honestly, chat, my bet is that Otto's going to be the one who gets got. He's been awfully important the last couple of streams, and that makes me very concerned. But we're gonna hope. We're gonna hope all the best for our boy Otto and our other boy Caspar. Also, chat, this is gonna be the only stream this week. The Twitch schedule right now says there's gonna be one sometime later this week. Not gonna happen. I am going home for a few days for vacation, and I'm just gonna be on vacation. So this is gonna be our last time in Pentiment for like a full week. So I hope you are all excited, ready, and or otherwise as scared as I am for our dear sweet boys. Thank you, Billy. But let's have a great time with this one. Also, apologies that we're starting up a bit late. I firstly didn't get off work till later, and secondly it started snowing. And so it snowing was a little bit more important. Because it is the season, and I'm happy it wound up being, you know, not a grey and brown December. That's alright, you guys entertained yourself in the Discord? Well, that's fair. Oh yeah, no, it absolutely becomes chaos here. Walking home, I think 4 ambulances went past on what was a, like, 15-minute walk. So, you know, first snow in New England went as well as expected. But I'm happy it's happening. So, we may cut off a bit early just so I can, you know, go see the snow, get pictures, all that stuff. But until then, we're gonna hang out, have a good time. So, let's get into it, because we got left on a cliffhanger last time, and we should probably deal with that. So, hello everyone. Welcome to Little History, as everyone's starting to filter in. My name's Adam, as always. I have a graduate degree in medieval history and almost a second one in cultural heritage studies. And we're back playing Pentiment. Obviously, historical game, historical playthrough. So, we're doing whatever the opposite of a speedrun is, taking a look at random nonsense details in the background narrative and mechanics, in order to see just how insanely well this game presents the early 16th century. So, if you haven't yet and are enjoying this, do make sure you hit that follow button to be notified when we go live. And if you really like this, do consider supporting the channel by subscribing or by heading over to patreon.com/littlehistory in order to help keep this channel running for as little as $2 a month. But yeah, let's get straight into it with more Pentiment. God, this game is so good. Like, I'll be honest, this game is just crazy good. Hello. Surprisingly, you've got like almost a full day of electricity already, and it's still on. Amazing. I am glad things are starting to get like more stable and start creeping towards normal, but it's lovely to have you here. Anyway, for everyone who missed last time, we talked a lot about St. John's Eve, because St. John's Eve is a festival to, in this game, was a festival to the Midwinter Spirit Perchta that occurred in the middle of June. But also, they were all like, hello, we are going to go out into the forest and go gather herbs. We don't own the forest, the abbot does, and he explicitly told us we cannot do that, but goddammit, we're gonna do it anyway. Our apprentice, Caspar, decided to go with them. We went to bed, had bad dreams, met melancholy, and then left. Did people wear sleepwear like this in the 16th century? Yup. This is pretty much right. Gonna go quote-unquote gather herbs, if you know what I mean. Yeah, I mean, some of them are definitely not gathering herbs. Some of them 100% not gathering herbs. Definitely finding a quiet spot by the waterfalls. Of just 2 people. Or maybe even 3 or 4. Ooh. There's a lot of commotion tonight. Sounds like everyone's gone to the woods. Okay, but look at the skybox. Look at how pretty these stars are. Would the Green Man have been more appropriate? Is that more Western Europe? As far as I know, that's a more Western Europe thing. I don't know that there is actually a folk spirit super strongly associated with the feast day of St. John. Like, I wasn't able to find any sort of coherence about that. A lot of them are more midwinter festivals and much less, very few clearly described, like, Central European midsummer spirits that I was able to find. I did not, however, go trawling through Jakob Grimm in particular detail, so your mileage may vary, and if you find anything, do let me know. Interesting skybox, wonder if those stars are true to medieval art? Well, we have the power to find out. Look, we are nothing if not slow playing, so let's see, what would be a good one here? 16... Oh, what's the Cicero? There's an astronomical text that I think it may just be called Astronomia. Oh, Automata, there it is. Automata, 16th century. I want to see if we've got any 16th century, let's see, is this... That's a nice high-resolution one. For the light... Oh, never mind. It claimed it was, and then it wasn't. Thank you. Very cool. Oh, thanks. And that's a PDF anyways. That's, like, not even helpful. Alright. Still, I was able to find, right, so the one I was first looking at is the Leiden copy of the Automata. Let me actually click over outside the game, since this is close enough to find something. Right, so the Automata is a Roman text from the 1st century, but that describes all the constellations, plus some other astronomical features. So, it's a good place to start. This one here is the Leiden Automata, but it uses yellow bricks for its stars, rather than being, right, the classic star-shaped stars. Let's see, that's full just zodiacal stuff. This uses red dots. This is the Cotton Tiberius manuscript of the Automata. It's a miscellaneous manuscript, but it just uses red dots. I think that's the same one. Ooh, this is a fun one. The Automata of Germanicus. So this is 11th century, but still does a red circle with some funky dots around it, and that's amazing. Do love that. So, no luck on 16th century Automata manuscripts, but 16th century astronomical texts. We can just go in for the look of the Queen. Let's Let's find out. Because I'm sure they're drawing from something specific. Well, that's getting close. This is an English text. But this one's definitely getting close. Let's click back into the game here and take a look at those stars. Okay, so that's just using little 6-pointed ones. So yeah, this looks like it's a most generally just more elaborated version of the same principle happening right here. What you said Book of the Queen. The Queen, Christina, and Sybil. Yeah, that's Christine de Pizan. That's a great shout. Because we know that they've cited Christine de Pizan in other texts. Right, elsewhere in the game, they've been citing Christine de Pizan, so they're clearly aware of her work. But yeah, an illuminated copy of the Book of the Queen there, having these 6-pointed stars, is an incredible shout. Good find. I'd say it's reasonably likely that this is probably the specific reference that they're using for both the stars and the moon. Let's get out where we can see the moon. Right, it's a little bit more crescenty and brighter, but you can definitely see the relationship there, right? Of the... Maybe not so much with this moon, but with other ones in the same manuscript, we can definitely... Let's see, I know that there's another one of the same, in the same manuscript here. That one, but that just uses dots. But that's using stars, the same 6-pointed stars. So, you know, I think we can say it is in line. Magistressa, we clicked back to the meadow, and therefore it's just Schlau. I say just Schlau, but Schlau is good. So we pet Schlau again. Yeah. So good find, Billy. I think that's good. Foxlove, what did you miss? You missed nothing. We were just being like, wow, pretty stars. The entire time. We also have the weird fucked up little guys hanging out having a party. You doing okay, bud? You doing okay? No? Okay. Oh, good. Caspar is fine. Who the fuck ran away? Master Andreas? What are you doing out here? He's had too many herbs? Yeah. I was at the bonfire with Killian, but I heard a ruckus from deeper in the woods. I left to go see what it was. Okay, Killian's that kid. Gurno? Father Gurno? What the hell are you doing out here? I was chasing one of the townsfolk, but lost track of the costumed buffoon. One of these people is in fact using a beekeeping mask as a costume. It is correct. The forest is off limits. Figure out who's breaking the rules and excommunicate them myself. What was that? Someone is screaming in town. They're really taking this nonsense too far this year. Go back to town and see what that noise was. Yeah. Well, that boat... Oh god, Gurno's following me? Gurno. What the heck? Hey, that was actually spooky. Have we talked about purple ink recently? I've not been able to find purple ink. Huh. I've never seen these flowers before. I wonder where they found them. I've been looking as I have spare time, which is to say, not as much as I'd like, to try and figure out how they're producing the purple ink, because I still feel like that's like a really good way to narrow down who our suspects are, but I've not had a lot of luck. We found a lot on purple pigments, but not a lot on purple inks. Yeah, Tyrian is Murex sea snails, and there's a couple other ways to get purple in this period, but I've not found any like super detailed studies on it being used for inks, and you know what the actual access routes for Tyrian purple actually is, to really get a good sense of right how much money do you have to casually be throwing purple ink on uh, scraps of parchment like that. Yeah, or kill from lichen. Yeah, that's another good shot. Who's that running? It's too hard to tell who's who in those stupid costumes. Worry about that later. Let's check on the town first. So, chat, they were tall and had a bird's face. I called it, chat. God damn it. Werner? Is he... dead? Yes, I'm afraid so. Someone in the Restore, the platform crushed him. That's not German, that's... Ado Gaga. What? How did this happen? Baltus and Nenhat and I heard the crash and stepped outside to see what had happened. Right, and then we saw a figure in costume rushing off from the roundhouse. It must have been whoever released the wall. Nope. Hell. Hey, Baltus is aggressively English, right? But yes, Vena is extremely shitty German. I can't do... I'm sorry, Chad. I'm sorry if to all of the... you know, anywhere in Europe for my accent. And what were you doing during all of this, Lenhart? Enjoying a light meal with these gentlemen. Ah, what a shame you can't blame me for this. Caspar, look to see if Otto had a note. Huh? Do it! Why are we making Caspar do this? Why are we making Caspar do this? No, Master, there's nothing. Are you certain? What were you expecting? Not sure. My god! Otto! No, no! You. The abbot must have killed him. The bastard always had it out for Otto, we all knew it. We need answers. How dare you? I won't just stand here and be accused of such a foul thing by a peasant. Uh-oh. Go after him! Wait! No, the abbot was with us, he's innocent. Why my text wiggles with indignation. Words are hard. That's right. There's no way he could have killed Otto. Grab the artist and the boy too. We'll get to the bottom of this. Caspar, run. Ah! To the abbey! Ah! Oh, parishioner, I'm sorry. Farewell, enjoy this comedic whatever the heck this is. Zoom! We zoom in! Zoom faster! Look at us all go! Ah! Brothers! To the library, now! Uh-oh. They ran through the church, this way. They're all gonna lock themselves in the... Oh, heck. Staff! Stealth section! They've locked the door. Well, this is bad. Andreas, get out of the way. Otto's death demands justice. The abbot couldn't have killed Otto. He was with us when we found the body. Well, that's true. He did arrive with you, but you don't know where he was before that, do you, Andreas? Who else would want to kill Otto? Coward. Killer. Andreas, move! Well, we have so much choice here. Not move it, won't let you in. No mercy! Face us! He's a monster! If those monks don't come out, we'll set fire to the whole place and cook them. You've all got mad! Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Guerra wasn't the only one who disagreed or disliked Otto. There must be someone else who killed him. Well, have good reason to take the abbot, but he's not the culprit here. It doesn't seem like the abbot could really kill Otto, does it? Fine, damn it. You've got 1 day to find whoever you think is the real killer, Andrea. Peter! Ah! Otherwise, we will come back for the abbot. Andreas, all I want is justice for my husband. Please, you must find the murderer. Eva. Ah! Panic. Wait. No. What? Why did we skip all the way to Nona's? Ah, it's 3 in the afternoon and we haven't even started. Ah! Panic! Many of the peasants hate the abbot and would like to see him suffer like they have. Dude, we could have powered through a look! Hey. We have the big sad, and the big sad demanded its beauty sleep. Master, Peter was furious. He's only giving you a day to find the murderer. Why do you have to find out who really killed Otto anyway? Didn't turn out well last time, did it? Why do it again? Ha! Classic. You have a good heart, Master Andreas. So who do you think did it then? Where do we even start? Well, you should talk to Lenhard. He always hated the peasants and supported the abbot. He was very vocal against Otto in the town commons the other day. Even if he didn't kill Otto, he might know who else had the motivation to. Oh, what about Martin Bauer? When I talking to Otto, they seem to be arguing over something. It's not likely. Martin supported Otto and the peasants. Could be worth talking to Martin to see... good idea. Who else? We'll have to do some more investigating to find who the murderer is, but we'd better move fast. Could the murderer confess to Father Thomas? Well, would Andreas have had coffee or a coffee substitute to chug during the grind? So he would not have coffee. Even though we're, 20-something years into European colonization of or I guess just over 30 years, into European colonization of the Americas, coffee is not being produced there yet to be mass exported, and additionally, Ethiopian and Yemenese coffee is only recently been introduced, it seems, to the Islamic world, and so has not really made its way into Europe yet. Right, so I would be extremely surprised if they were having actually coffee in this period. By the end of the century, I think it's much more likely, and 100 years from now, you can have tea, coffee, and hot cocoa. But in 1525, I think it would feel. My instinct is that would be too early, but like we're within a couple generations of that happening. Oof. However, we could eavesdrop on Andreas. Andreas, my boy. Did you... Did... Is he serious? I mean, it's efficient. Oh, yeah, well, the townsfolk might have heard something anyway. That's a good place to start. Well, you could also ask around at the Golden Hand. People will tell outsiders anything. They might have heard something we missed. Well, the person who ran by us in the forest. They were wearing these flowers. I've never seen them before. Right. We have to find the source of those flowers in the woods. That might give us some sort of connection to the killer. Isn't that sacrilege? Yeah. It's... I don't know that, I don't know that there's a specific penance assigned. I'm not well versed on the penitentials of this period. I do not know, and I will not pretend to know, what sort of, whether they discuss spying on other confessions, or what would be the appropriate penance for it. If anyone does have access to the penitentials and wants to look into that, I'd be super grateful. But yeah, I won't say one way or the other, because that is past the limits of my expertise, and I'm not really in the business of spouting nonsense. Well, if you're speedrunning heresy, you may as well go for excommunication. True. Oh, wait. Perhaps around the St. Satya shrine? Monitoring the area will provide the adequate environment. A lot of good places to start. Although time is short, we have a good chance of finding the real killer. Let's do it! Heck, there's so many rooms. Hi, child. Who are you? Hello, Master Mahler. Anything I can do for you? Yes, actually. As a practicing Catholic, if you recall, overhearing a confession is a mortal sin. Well, I don't know if that's true in the 16th century as well as in the 21st, but that's not a great side. You were pretty vocal against Otto in the town commons. What was that about? Just what I said then. I don't want anyone to get hurt. Especially now. We've already had one death in Tassing. We don't need any more. Nor opposed to Otto's ideas, though. He spoke against violence. Otto was an ideologue. He didn't see the reality of the situation. The Golden Hand relies on pilgrims and travelers for its business, Andreas. If Otto got his way, everything would be chaos. Swabia is burning as it is. We need the law to live civilized lives, Andreas. What Otto was advocating for scared me. Well, it's hardly better now. Otto was the only thing holding Peter back. Dear God, I hadn't considered that. I pray this ends quickly. I should get back to work. If you need anything else, Master Mahler, just let me know. Yosua. Hello. There's suddenly a lot more people around. Samuel? I want to hang out with Samuel just to see what it's like. Oh boy. Okay, Yosua's not important. Killian's not important. Nico, hello. Master Baller, is there anything I can do for you? Nico, have you heard anyone in here talking about Otto's murder? Not just talking about it, but you know. Yeah, you know. Exactly. Like they had something to do with it? Oh, no, I think I'd remember something like that. But again, I try not to eavesdrop on conversations. I don't want to get yelled at, or worse. But maybe you can find more luck talking to people. Beer always tends to loosen people's lips. Buy it round for everyone, and you can have the run of the place. You'll be here a while, though. Maybe later. Maybe later. Hannah is wearing stuff straight out of Low Country Are the Peasant Women. Yeah. Look, I think we've safely confirmed, right, the outfits are all super good. Oh boy. Samuel, we already saw him. He just said hello. We can't actually talk to him. Good to see you, Andreas. Hello, Cat. Martin seems different from how I remembered him. What changed? Oh, that's right. He was still gone by the time you left Tassing. He returned several weeks later, like he always did. His travels? Or time that changed him? Only God knows the truth of a man's heart, but I suspect the challenges he faced on his road improved his memories of home. He hasn't stolen anything or run off in years. Truly, the Lord provides for his faithful. He and Otto were arguing the other day, though. Do you know why? Were they? I'm sorry, Andreas, but I don't know anything about that. Martin supports Otto in his cause against the abbot's taxes. They didn't have any cause to fight. I don't know, Garrett. The argument was quite heated. Would Martin have any reason to hurt Otto? Of course not. They've become close friends these past few years. Like brothers. Even brothers quarrel. After Franz died, God blessed me by returning my son to me healed of his darkness. We should be giving thanks that that the Lord led Martin to the light. Trust me, Andreas. I know my own son. Martin would never do such a thing. Thank you for hearing me out. Until later, Andreas. Bye. Honestly, bless those Low Countries artists for being an amazing source for common folk garb. True. Hello, Andreas. Could you spare a moment, Brigitte? I suppose. What do you need? It was so strange seeing Martin. What do you mean? Seemed like he came back from his travels a changed man. For the better, yes. For all the grief he gave me, we're happy now. Is that so bad? Oh, no, of course not. He did get into an argument with Otto when I was coming into town, though. What happened there? Why all the questions about my husband, Andreas? You're a poor liar, Andreas. Aw, tragic. Otto was pressing Martin to support him in the town commons, Andreas. Martin has changed, but his history in this town is remembered. He doesn't want to cause more trouble. He didn't want to speak in the commons because he's afraid of the abbot. They squabbled over it, that's all. Otto threatened Martin if he didn't cooperate. What was your husband so afraid Otto knew? Your husband can't have changed that much. Aw. I know that Otto and Martine had quarreled, but that's all. Maybe he flew off the handle with Otto. You know how men are. I'm sorry, but I don't know anything about the matter. Now please, I need to get back to work. Of course. Until later. So, I failed this out. Ooh. Helpful. 15th century book. The book on how to make all the color paints for illuminating books. Polywoggy, thank you for that. Cool. Folium and Orki as inks, which started using spectrophotometry of illustrated manuscripts in a 2017 article that indicates they were likely more common than thought. And Iron Gull is described as starting out purple-black, but turning brown with age. So, right, I hear you on the Iron Gull. I think it's safe to say that whatever they're using is not Iron Gull ink, because it's vibrantly purple. It's not purple-black, it is violet. But Folium, I think, makes a lot of sense as this sort of middle ground ink production. If you could send me that article, either whispering it to me or just dropping a link in the Discord, that would be extremely cool and helpful. Anyway, chat. So we botched it, shockingly. Raise your hand if you're surprised that we are bad at dealing with, Raise your hand if you're surprised that we're bad at getting the truth out about Martin Bauer. Anyone? Is anyone surprised? No? Alright, chat. Spoilers, then. You shouldn't be. You should not be surprised. Because it turns out thank you. Let me just yoink that real quick. You'll raise your hand in sympathy? Nah. Literally don't. It was the least surprising news. But spoilers. This man is not Martin Bauer. Martin Bauer died. This is an explicit reference to the return of Martin Guerra. He has just rolled up into town, assumed another person's identity, and just kind of vibed out for 7 years. Now, the historical case of Martin Guerra occurs in Basque Country, but is in this time period, and is an actual court case that is extremely fascinating. It has a movie about it, and then a book made after that. No, fully identity theft. I'm pretty sure Kat does not know, and I'm pretty sure Brigitte does know. Yeah, no, we actually have the primary documentation because it's a long drawn-out court case of attempting to prove that the Martin Guerra that came back from a trip was not the Martin Guerra that left on the, or that ran away, but not really went on a trip, but more of was a scoundrel and bailed. But yeah, turns out, yeah, it's recorded by a man, thank you Magistrate for dropping the name, Jean Decroix, in, I believe it's the Aquitanian court records. But he turned out to be a man named Arnaud de T, I believe, right? If I'm remembering correctly. It's Arnaud somebody. But yeah, it turned out he just fully assumed another person's identity, which is wild. What gave it away? If I remember right, there's some like people got suspicious when he didn't know things he should, and also like he wasn't. If I remember right, he wasn't good. He like wasn't good at Basque, or it was some other like weird thing where something that you'd think would either have given him away way sooner, or is so obscure they would have never figured it out. Right? Either you get it in one guess, or it takes you 500. But yeah, no, they've eventually figured it out. It's very wild. I highly recommend reading. I prefer the book to the movie. I think it's Natalie Zaman Davis that wrote the book version, and I prefer that to the movie. But yeah, he didn't speak Basque, which you would think in Basque country would be a giveaway. And then his feet were just like smaller. Yeah, it's wild. I'm pretty sure the original court documents have also been digitized if you look for them. But yeah, no, really fun, and is on the reading list that Obsidian had promoted for this game. So, you know, there's that. Hey, Eva. Oh, Andreas. I'm so sorry, Eva. I knew something like this would happen. He believed in what he was doing. I know he was doing the right thing, but Andreas, I was so scared. I don't know what I'm going to do now. Hard to deal with death that's so sudden. I don't remember my mother. They weren't in Basque Country, they were in Artiga and had moved from Basque Country. Gotcha. That makes more sense. And also makes more sense why it's an Aquitanian chord scribe that's recording all of this. Because Basque Country is Navarre in this period, not Aquitaine. That makes sense. She was gone before I ever knew her. And now Utz is never going to know his father. I'm sorry, Andreas. I'm just so tired. It's alright. Maybe we could come back later and share a meal together? Yes, I think that would help. Later then. Until then. But yeah, explicit historical narratives being used in your historical game. Good choice. Big fan. Till, tell me anything. Aww. Andre, nope. Nope, that's Big Yorg. Big Yorg, no. No! Stop it! Don't need... I'll talk to you later. I need to talk to Andre. Andreas, did you get caught up in another murder? I like how they handled Martin and Brigitta's relationship with, like, the historical are noted here. I'm not fully convinced Bertrand knew her husband was a fake. He's always been assault by deception. Yeah. Yeah. Another great example. I mean, a guy in Montenegro claimed he was the dead husband of Catherine the Great and the true Tsar of Russia, even though he couldn't speak Russian. People believed him. Wild. Shepan Mali. Amazing. It's a lot more romantic if she knew I was helping him. Yeah, but this game also not so quietly implies that she and Veronica are also seeing each other. So it's a lot more romantic, but it's also a helpful bit of leverage if everyone's just like play along and we're all just going to do things, right? We're all going to go off and do our own thing, and neither of us are going to say anything because this just works better that way. Maybe God wants me to solve murders instead of making art. Seems like a bad way to put food on the table, but maybe you're right. Listen, Andreas, I can't talk any sense into Peter. I understand he's angry. We're all angry. But threatening the abbot? Burning down the abbey? The Duke's soldiers will tear this town apart. I won't listen to you. What makes you think I carried more weight with him? I don't know. You lived with the man. I'm just worried. Worried for all of us. I understand. I'll talk to you later, Andre. The guy who ran past us in the woods was about your size, weren't they? Yeah? Yeah? You're correct. They were about York size. God damn it. Chad, I want to do everything. In fact, he's the only one even close to that size. Andreas, it seems you're in the thick of another mystery again. It's not by my choosing, I swear. It's good to get to take it on in any case. We need your help. The peasants are angry. Even if what you and Casper said about the abbot makes sense, they don't want to hear it. It's too easy to blame Father Gurno for Otto's murder. Some of the bigger monks, maybe? Yeah. Yeah. It definitely could have been a part of costume, but it didn't look like there was a spot you could see out of. Right, that's the difficulty, is it didn't look like there was a spot you could see out of. But yeah, Florian's not going to do it. I don't know why Florian would have a reason to. Voislav said he was going to attend, but I also don't think Voislav has it in him to do murder. Andreas, if I knew anything, I'd tell you. I'd tell Peter. I am critical of the abbot, but I still love the man. I still love all of the brothers and sisters at Kirsal. I don't want to see them harmed any more than you do. If I see or hear anything that could help, you'll be the first person I tell. Thank you, Ulrich. It's the least I can do. Keep faith, Andreas. Trust in Providence. We are all in God's hands. And, oh boy. Chat, we have 2 time blocks that we can do stuff in, I think. I think we only have 2 time blocks we can do anything in. Also, it is possible that the runner was not the murderer. That's true. Andreas, not looking good, is it? I warned you there'd be blood. Looks like only the beginning to me, too. So you did. Otto didn't deserve this. Nobody deserves to die like this. Best you get on solving this, Andreas. The unrest bodes ill. Peasants are about to do something foolish. I can stop them. No. Otto's got... I know I had a few conflicts, but nobody I'd call an enemy. Best of luck to you, Andreas. You don't have much time. I know! Lucky! You don't have to remind me! So, we can... Let's see, what are the things we can do? We can... look for the flower. We can talk to Lenhard. We can buy drinks, and we can bug Marty. Those are the 4. Is there nothing else? I don't know how long Rathaus construction will be delayed now. Werner. Hello, Andreas. Yes, yes. I wish to explore the Stolz household. I cannot go upstairs. Oh, tragic. Tragedy. Also, chat around town. Exactly. Chatting around town absolutely seems like a plan here. Balthazar! Greetings, Andreas. You have arrived at the ideal moment. Oh, right. Less than ideal considering Otto's recent death. Oh, and we can eavesdrop on confession. Took place right outside your house. You... Alas, as I said, Werner and Lenhard and I were engaged in a stimulating debate when we heard the crash outside. I only saw a figure flee, but unfortunately I have no useful details on whoever it may have been. I hope you find Elite 5 severe doubts about the involvement of the abbot in this gruesome affair. Meanwhile, though, I am drawing close to the final design of my latest invention. As such, I would very much like to hear your thoughts on it. Doesn't feel most appropriate considering the circumstances, but suppose I can listen. Splendid! I've been devising something most unique. Come. For present, we have a problem. The peasants suffer under harsh conditions. Do you agree? They do not have it easy, no. They toil constantly but achieve little of a bare subsistence. They are then taxed heavily. The peasants grow angrier, hence the nascent troubles all across the lands. It is a dangerous time. So, I have devised a tool to lessen their drudgery. Here, take a look at this schematic. Yes. Behold the plough. In front of it, an automaton, man or beast, it matters little, dragging the plough behind it. Robots. God. Chat. Book recommendation time. Because of course we have an excuse to talk about book recommendations. Well, I'm getting my favorite book. Hang on just a sec. Ellie Truitt's Medieval Robots. Phenomenal book. Highly recommend. Talks a lot about what's possible for medieval automata. From all the way up from the earliest mentions, you know, of this sort of ideological literary thing in Merovingian and Carolingian Francia, all the way up through practical automata in pleasure gardens of the 15th century. Gets actually quite late. How far do we go? 1300, 1304, 1350. Spends a lot of time looking at the garden at Hesdin in the 14th century, and then a little bit of discussion about it in the 15th century. But yeah, highly recommended. One of my favorite, best written academic books, but also just a phenomenal topic. Something like this? Nah. No way. Yeah. Right. Automata of this sort of lifelessness, Truitt argues, definitely exist, right? We have the inventories from elite people that show that's possible. Also, we are after, Da Vinci has already lived and died by this time. He dies in the second decade of the 15th, words. Second decade of the 1500s, or so the 1510s. I don't remember exactly which year it is, but it's between 1516 and 1519, somewhere in there. So, Da Vinci's already lived and died. This is technologically possible. And left is Pope. Hello for the party of 4 on that raid. Welcome, everyone. We are talking about automata because, Balthazar here, our extremely English-German inventor gentleman, is telling us about how he's going to solve the social crisis of overtaxed peasantry by technological improvement of a robot pulling a plow. 1519. Hey, I remembered correctly this time almost. I'm so good at this. Right, professional historian right here. We swear. Anyway. Right. Sophisticated automata are very possible. This is not possible. This is an absurd design, and I think everyone involved except Balthazar knows it. Have you seen any artificial people before? Ooh. Ooh, wait, we've got so many references to look up. Chat, if you're expecting a fast playthrough, it just slowed down real fast. Oh, hang on. Stop. Do we have any digitized information about this? No. That's fine. To the other page. These are all other ones, but the Bellefortis is the first fully illustrated manual of military technology, dating from the start of the 15th century. Conradus Kieser. Between 1402 and 1405, he's a native of Eichstätt, but he's from Prague. But oh boy. Among the military devices discussed are, not surprisingly, trebuchets, battering rams, movable portable bridges, cannons, rockets, chariots, ships, mills, scaling ladders, incendiary devices, crossbows, and instruments of torture, some rather modern at the time, and some others that have been well known since antiquity. But the treatise also describes a sauna, an air mattress, and a chastity belt. Items that really don't fit the world like it. Hey, air mattresses are the height of military fashion. The first known medieval depiction of the Archimedes screw, and the earliest drawing of the above-mentioned chastity belt. Amazing. It's been digitized. Oh boy. Oh boy. It keeps going. Whee! So many illustrations. Where's our sauna? Hit me with the sauna. No? That guy's spooky. What the heck's going on here? That's not helpful. Whoopst. Who is this? Also, is this in Latin? Cum sportus aspice. Huh? Forbon? Ugh. Ugh. This is not a fun hand to read. This looks like it's armor to protect you from falling, like tanks, basically. Sigvard of Katarina, obviously. You're not wrong. But they are dropping rocks, and this is a device to help keep you safe from dropping rocks. But, gotta say, this Latin hand, not fun. Caserore aggrassus cum sport. That's S-P-O-R-T something. Yeah, this is not. Gotta say, this is not fun Latin. If I spent about 4 hours with this, I'd probably be able to figure out how to read this Latin smartly, but not right now. Ooh. Well, hello. Vertifolum. Neat. Fundo reductus reductum something aortamas in sra. Is that This is peak Latin right there. This is peak Latin right here. Chat, is this I-N, N-I-M? None of the above? It's probably not an N because that's an N. This is most likely an M, but I don't know grammatically why there's an M right there. It could be that this is just a single thing, but yeah. Late medieval Latin. Late medieval Latin. This is still pleasant for late medieval Latin. God. This is one part of doing this work that I don't miss. I miss manuscript studies a lot of the time. I miss when I get getting to work with extremely fun, like, just beautiful manuscripts. I don't miss trying to figure out what the heck some of these are saying. Oh, a hand crank. Anyway, I think we've procrastinated enough with the Bellafortes. Let's get back to the game and immediately leave the game again to look at the Frauenkirche. The Our Lady Church, by the way. Or, I guess, the Lady Church, technically. Frauenkirche. Nuremberg. It almost certainly in French would be Notre Dame. Yeah, the Church of Our Lady. Good. Aw, boo. 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 So the game says, the Frauenkirche clock at Nuremberg faces the profession of mechanical man, main lane Laufen. Nope, that was Icelandic. Main lane Laufen that can be seen on midday. Thing is, this might be one of the rare cases where the game does a goof. Oh no, that's 1356. Never mind. I just can't read. We're good. We're good. Never mind. Look, chat, I may or may not have... This may or may not be alcoholic. Don't expect too much from me. We're good. Do we have a date on when this was built? Do we know anything? Thank you, Wiki. The game got me. I thought the game may have goofed. Instead, it was just me. Okay. It doesn't... Game got me. Installed between 1506 and 1509. We're good. We're good. Don't worry about it. Everything is fine. I thought I may have gotten the game. The game got me. Seen any artificial people? So chat, which of these should we do? Because he definitely would have seen one or both of these. But which of them is more curiouser? Do we go book full nerd, or do we go only very slightly less nerd? Full book? Full nerd? Impress him with our book learning. There we go. No, in elaborate work. It is meticulous in its depiction of warfare, but personally I am not so keen on the matter. So, you understand of which I speak? The intricacies of machinery. gears within gears, symmetric coils turning a shaft system that leads to the gearing mechanism. Controls that are quite complex but allow it to follow a predetermined path. It toils so the peasant does not have to. Hey yo! Isn't this similar to Leonardo's self-propelled cart? I may have seen it in a manuscript once. Hey yo! If you say Leonardo, there's only one option. No! This is a different class of invention altogether. The universe reveals itself through the minute intricacies of clockwork. There are still a few imperfections to work out, but I can feel I am on the correct path. Tell me, Andreas, what do you think? Be truthful. There can be no progress without truth. True. Naturalist right here. We just got widespread adoption of the horse collar. Lie? It's great. Come on. Don't hurt that poor nerd. Look, this just lets him wax enthusiastic about the merits of Automata. The power of modernization. My 400 horsepower, 0 to 30, 0 to 60, I know what car metrics are, 0 to 60 in 7.2 seconds. Be the naturalist. We could even free the beasts from their burden. I am on a fool's errand, am I not? It's what my father would have said as well. I fear I am a disappointment. Your father is also an inventor? You're 0 to 6 miles per hour horse time. Aw. He is, with a sharp mind and a sharper tongue if need be. Why did you leave in the first place? I had to prove myself. To my father, I suppose. And maybe. My father had oh no, it's us. My father had attempted to arrange for me a marriage. I did not feel ready. Wow. Depression. In any case, there's so much more I have to learn. My inventions have not been as successful as I would like. Was it because you're lacking the correct frame of mind? What do you mean? If your inventions so far amount to little, you must change your approach. Think bigger, Baltus. More. Nothing bad will happen. Lofty goals. We tore him down so we may build him up. We can build him up more. I fear ambition has so far been my shortfall. I'll reach for more than I can attain. But I thank you, Andreas. They are all terrible answers. I invite you to exchange thoughts and you have proven most valuable. This conversation has given me much to consider. But now, I guess I must return to work. Those were all terrible answers. He's on the right track. Salutations, Andreas. He's actually on the right track here. But unfortunately, daddy issues... Look, only one character in this game is allowed to have daddy issues, and it's Andreas. Okay, well... Andreas, I can't talk right now. I need to watch it for Rachel. Well, good luck with that. I don't want to be here for this. Heck, chat. Which of these should I go for? Hello, Blues. Chat, which one are we doing? I need... Yes, Gertner. Gertner's is a good choice. Whee. I don't know, I went over here. Town Commons. And then... This is still the Bowers. Johan? Hello. Andreas, you and me need to talk. No, alright, what's also fine? Why are you helping the abbot? You know what he's been doing to our families. Don't want that library to go up in flames because of Peter. Look, we have standards. We know what's coming from way too many medieval manuscripts. We have standards. Unfortunately, it going up in flames in the 16th century is actually getting really ahead of the times here. I mean, churches burn down all the time. Shockingly, when your main source of reading is open fire, and your main source of light and heat is open fire, things have a tendency to burn down. That being said, the library is honestly getting ahead of the curve if it gets burned down. Because, the 18th century is really where the great collections of medieval manuscripts, every single one of them burns to the ground. Every medievalist in any subfield has at least one fire that they have not forgiven everyone for. Look, the burning of the Library of Alexandria, copies of almost everything in that library's inventory were somewhere else. The loss of information was not that great. The burning of the library in Copenhagen in the 1720s, absolute goddamn catastrophe. Several major Icelandic sagas were just lost. The 18th century is where all the fires happen. And, I mean, when we talk about 90% of medieval manuscripts being lost, the 18th century misplaced a good chunk of them. I'm glad that rant's got me a follow. Hello, Scourge Luminous, good to see you. Books? Is this what this is about? Never read one. Hard to believe they're worth protecting. A killer over. And what do we deserve, Andreas? To starve? Geokista, what was happening in the 18th century? We didn't have electricity, so our main source of light and heat was open fire, and there was a massive collecting policy. Right, private collecting was taking off, and government sponsor collecting took off in the 17th century. And so by the turn of the 18th, there are massive libraries that are compiling text from all over the place, all into one location, while the main source of light and heat is open fire. So it's not that fires got more common in the 18th century, it's that the fires were vastly more destructive in the 18th century, because they hit larger and more unique collections of manuscripts. Foxlove proving my point exactly. I weep for Syndromus Nechte that is just completely gone apart from the list that tells what are in it, which potentially hold new cycles of medieval Irish material. Exactly! When was the last time you went hungry, Andreas? Last month I count more lean days than full. If it weren't for Ulrich's charity, we wouldn't have had any bread at all this week. We should answer it, but not by burning the abbey down. Alright, you know what? If you're dead set on this, I think I can point you towards someone. Why would you do that? Because I've had my suspicions about this person for a while. It's my nephew, Martin. Martin? Really? Why? Because I don't think he's who he says he is. I don't think he's Martin at all. Why do you think that? We all see what we want to see here, Andreas. The things we don't want to see, we ignore it as long as we can. For everyone's sake. I don't say anything about Eva's pretty blonde hair. York doesn't say anything about my daughter's friendship with Brigitte. Brigitte and Kat don't say anything about Martin. Strong Martin. Hard-working Martin. Faithful Martin. He's an imposter because he's too good? I'm no saint, Andreas, but my brother was a true asshole. His son was even worse. At least Franz was strong and worked hard. There was not a bit of good in Martin when he left. So yes, I think he's an imposter because he's almost as good as my nephew was bad. Do you have any evidence? No, just suspicion and a reason to not trust the man. When the abbot decided to give us old Radnik Kemper's land, there was a fee that we had to pay. We needed to expand. My brother and I couldn't say no. So the land went to both of us. And after Franz's death, a portion went to Martin. That doesn't sound like the worst thing. Nah, it wouldn't be if Martin hadn't brought up the idea of selling off the leads. That or parceling out to other families. It gets complicated, but he'd be putting my land on the other side of someone else's. This whole arrangement works because we hold the land together. I think it's possible. If he can sleep with another man's wife and steal his land, maybe he could be a killer too. Alright, I'll consider it. Good. Well. Hello. Hello. And that gets you over there. Yeah. Yay, 16th century landholding customs. Also, you like that it's his uncle who has the most suspicions. Yeah. It's good. It's bad, but it's good. York? Nope. Not even a little bit. Hello, Clara. Ursula. Aw. Anything? Not even a little bit? God bless you. Well. Alright, chat. I think it's time to waste even more time. Because we've got a few things that need to happen, but before we do that, we can also attempt to see who's over. And another key part of Arno getting out was that Uncle getting suspicious of Martin being willing to sell land when asked super not how Basque land rules went. What do I want to do? I want to run away to the Abbey and the forest and see if there's any trolls out there. But then I think Saint Satya. I think I want to do Saint Satya the most. Smokey, hit me with the gauze. Ah. Here's some flowers, master. Close, but not match the ones you found. Let's keep searching. Whee! What about these, Master Andreas? Nah, these flowers are red. Caspar, I appreciate the enthusiasm. Are we sure you're not colorblind? Master Andreas, more flowers. Still not a match. Still not quite the match we're looking for. God, I imagine that would be... I imagine that would be a big deal. Right? I don't know that colorblindness is described in any early modern texts. But I would imagine that's a big deal. Right? I, I know. It's not dissing people. It's merely observing that for an artist's apprentice in the 16th century, it maybe is a big deal to be qualified to be colorblind. The relic I used contained the hand of Saint Moritz. He can work around if he's stuck to engraving, true, but he probably shouldn't be apprenticed to us if he's working in engraving. God bless you, Master Mahler. God bless you, Sister Sophie. It's good I've never seen you before in my life. What are you talking about? And you, Master Mahler. I know it's been some time, Master Mahler, but I must remind you of my vows. I cannot speak with men. No. Shit. Sorry. Margreta. God bless you, Master Mahler. Sister Gertrude said one of the townsfolk was killed. What happened? Then Van Gogh was colorblind. I didn't actually know Van Gogh was colorblind. That's neat. The Holy Land on the St. Moritz mural is based on the Holy Land site in Vienna. Oh, that's cool. Also, Zimmermann, the town carpenter, was crushed by part of the construction of the Rathaus. Oh no! I hear some of the sisters saying there was a murder, and the peasants chased the monks into the library. Sister Zdena even said they're accusing Father Abbot. Is that true, Master Mahler? Yes. I pray you do, Master Mahler. Everyone's getting scared. I heard Sister Sophie last night, crying. Mother Illuminata says God will preserve us, but everything just keeps getting worse. Maybe the Lord is punishing the Abbey. Everything is happening its way, yeah. I don't think God needs to punish kids. Why would I want to? I don't think the Abbot should treat the peasants so harshly, but... Oh, Margaretha's based. I'm glad we spared her life. I don't know what to think anymore. Anything else happened in the convent recently? Well... Interesting. Well, a man ran into me when I was washing lettuce in the herb hut a few days ago. Is that so strange? We spared Matilda, not Margretha. You're right. Both are based. Yes, even in a joint monastery, the sisters' and brothers' quarters are separated. He should have been in the church, since it was almost Vespers. Indeed, you remember anything? I can do my best, even though the hut was dark. You can't see anyway. I know it was a man because his sister... I know it was a man because his figure was taller than any of the sisters, and he grunted when he bumped me. Could it be one of our suspects, Master? Perhaps. Did you recognize his voice? No, he didn't say anything, but I felt the texture of one of the habits when he bumped into me. His skin was softer, too, and he was knocked back when we collided. He grabbed me and moved me out of the way. No beard, either. So, Florian. Magistressa, I know. But it's not like, right, we're getting the things you would expect, right? Skin textures, vague patterns, height, voice, all honestly more useful things than a description. Well, what's the brother be doing in the herb hut? I don't know. He startled me, but was in and out of the hut before I could call out. No, Florian has a beard. Yeah, he has a beard. So it's Guy. You're right. It's Guy and... Who's his face? The singer. Rudiger. Oh, and by the way, Oh, and Nargo, thank you for the follow just now. Right? Those are the two, right? Because... Oh, and Voice Lab, I suppose. But... The main thing's wrong, too. I think it was one of the younger brothers, so yeah. The rest aren't light on their feet. I can hear them shuffling all the way across the garden. Lucas, okay. That still leaves a few suspects. Brother Lucas and Brother Guy both fit that description, as does the abbot. But the abbot has his own house. What would he be doing sneaking around to the herb hut? You're right. Father Guerra would just order one of the brothers to get something for him anyway. Master Mahler. How cheeky. Please, Lucas or Guy? If I may, Master Mahler? Yes, Sister Margareta? Brother Lucas and I are friends. I don't think he'd hide from me. That leaves Brother Guy. Guy is young and fast enough to be in and out in a flash. But Sister Margareta, what was he doing here? I don't know, Master Mahler. I couldn't tell what he was doing, or if he took anything. By the time I realized what happened, Sister Sophie came and got me for supper. Did you tell anyone else? I told Sister Gertrude about it, and she agreed it was very odd, since whoever it was should have been at supper. I might be able to help you identify which herb jars he grabbed. We should get her blessing first, though. She's a stickler about her herbs. Would you help me find her? Sister Gertrude, may I take Master Mahler into the herb hut? I'm looking for anything that man might have left behind. Ah, you mystery intruder. Why are you so interested, Andreas? Left anything but... No, that doesn't make sense. Right. That doesn't make sense because it hasn't been a Vespers since then. Very well. I'd prefer you not just open every jar, however. So the herbs need to remain sealed. Then how are we supposed to figure out if he left anything? I know the jars by sound. If you gently shake them, Master Mahler, I should be able to tell you which ones he picked up as I came in. I know he used 3 of the jars. Once we find all 3, we can figure out which is the last one he opened. Alright, that sounds reasonable. This way, then. Mousefanger, hello. Oh boy, so many options. Oh, Bethany, I was surprised to see that herb among your jars, sister. You know its uses, Andreas. I know it's medicinal use, but I was always instructed to stay away from it. And with good reason. Bethany can be used for terrible invocations and spells. I keep a jar because it can be a good remedy against such magic when used correctly. God, oh no. Chat, we're gonna be here a while. But first. Yes, he definitely picked that one. Alright. But, like, I want to examine it. Woad. You'll like this one, Andreas. It's woad. Well, that creates the most exquisite blue ink. I didn't realize you grew it here. We have a small supply. Not for ink, though. Brother Adolf can't help us quill as steadily as he once could. I make an ointment with woad that helps his palsy. Mandragora. Some choose to use the mandrake for evil arts, but these have all been cleansed. Only Sister Gertrude handles the mandrakes. And with good reason, too. I only use them for pains that can't be rid of any other way. Dill. It wasn't that one. Dill. Very good when the cows are ill, but a bit much for us and less cooked. Don't spill that one. I just made a new batch of hydromel, so it's very full. We use it as a base for many remedies, so I'm always making more. It's fun to drink, too. Much nicer than the wine we have at supper. Aww. Oh, you should take some of this before you go into the cities, Andreas. It's feverfew. It clears the phlegm of the head quite effectively. That stuff. It's gross, but Sister Gertrude makes everyone at Kirsau eat it. And you've been well because of it. Honestly, I think we could do with a bit more of it in our meals. Ugh. Dorth. Oh, yes, I need to take that jar up to the abbey. What is it? An ointment for the abbot made with Dorth. Oh, that one. It's for his scabies. I'm always making it. He uses a lot of it. Ugh. Well, I don't know that I needed to know that. Thank you, Margareta. I don't think I needed that information about Guerra. Ah, mugwort. Bibor. Brother Matthew has a soft stomach, so we make quite a bit of it into cakes for him. Songfoil. Oh, songfoil. 5-leaved. Yes, that's how the plant gets its name. I keep it as a paste with flour and oil to break fevers. Erdica. Careful not to open the nettle, Andreas. Nettle? That stuff stings. Why keep a jar of it? I wouldn't be surprised if you've eaten it yourself, Caspar. The dry leaves lose their sting. Never the herbs. The horses are unwell. We mix nettle with lovage, and their fright is drained the next day. Papavar. That one's so small. That one holds poppy seeds. The seeds are potent when eaten to induce sleep, so we don't use them very often. I remember eating some before my eye surgery. I was woozy for a long time. Based medical information right here. Cataract surgery is possible in the 16th century. So, good on them for, referencing the surgery. This game continues to impress. Ah, Durkleib. Very useful against poisons. It purges the stomach, so that the bad humors have no place to rest in the body. Humoral theory. Chat, do we need an introduction to humoral theory? I am happy to do an introduction if we need one. But it will take some doing. So, let me know if you want that. Oh no? Uh-huh. Bad humors have no place to rest in the body. I think it would be humorous. Well, given that I'm no longer sober, it would definitely be humorous. You have so much of that one. We need a lot of calendula to tend to so many people. Its juices can expel most bad humors. Pounding the juices makes my hands sticky. Stickiness can be washed away, Sister Margareta. Woundwort. I remember the physician laying these leaves on my brother when he... Oh. Unlucky. When he had smallpox. Yes, that's one of the more common uses for woundwort. It drives the humans back into the body, no matter how they arrive, or the skin. It's really upsetting when you realize that you're gonna kill a lot of people. Well, yes and sort of, right? I think we do need the introduction to humor theory, because, right, normally it's only extremely rich people that get killed by humoral theory. People who have brain cells have a tendency to not do stupid shit in an attempt to balance the humors. So, humoral theory, quick and dirty introduction, is first really elaborated on by Galen in the 4th century, I think. Don't quote me on the dates. I am the worst at dates. I have graduate degrees in history and I can't do dates. Don't worry about it. But it basically proposes that there are 4 humors, which are each combinations of 2 elements. So this is an elaboration on Aristotle. We have blood, right, sanguine. We have black bile. We have yellow bile. And we have phlegm. Black bile and yellow bile are a fake distinction, just for the record. They don't those are not real. But they correspond. Sanguine should be hot and dry? Yeah. Hot and dry. Yellow bile is, I believe, hot and wet? I'm not 100% confident on this. If I'm getting it wrong, do get it. But, right, it's combinations, right? The diagonals right? You have hot, cold, wet, dry. Or hot, cold, wet, dry. And then the humors sit in between them, combining the two things. So you have hot and wet, hot and dry, cold and wet, cold and dry being the four humors. And so the medical theory is basically right that illness is caused by an imbalance. All humors are good, but an excess of any humor is bad. And so you need to do something about that by eating foods or herbs with the opposite effect. So if you are phlegmatic, you have an excess of cold and wet. I think it's cold and wet. You need to eat hot, dry foods in order to warm yourself back up and become healthy again. Now the thing is, this is actually practice-based, not theory-based. So what's actually happening is, for the most part, they're using what works. Right? They're using herbs with genuine medical properties for the purposes of solving the things that they have genuine medical benefits for, and then retroactively saying it must have worked because it has XYZ properties. However, this gets out of hand when not medical professionals start thinking they're able to diagnose. So the most classic thing is bleeding. Bleeding is an emergency solution, right? It is after if you have a fever and nothing else works, eating or drinking cooling teas like mint tea, being in a cool bath, dabbing warm areas with a cold cloth, things like that. After all of that fails, the solution they give is to cut open a vein and let out some blood, because clearly you have too much blood in your body. When lay people get a hold of this, and not medical professionals start attempting to apply humoral theory, this gets a little bit out of hand, and so there are multiple cases of rich people bleeding themselves to death because they're like, I'm feverish, cut me open, doc. And doc's like, are you sure? And they're like, yeah, cut me open. Alright, this is going to be super dangerous and we should not do it. I don't care, I'm paying you. Do it. And then they bleed themselves to death. And if you have an excess, right, the excesses are called certain things. So you have sanguine, right? If you're sanguine, you have too much blood. If you're choleric, you have too much yellow bile, question mark? I think it's yellow bile. If you're phlegmatic, you have too much phlegm. And if you're melancholic, you have too much black bile. So, let that be known. Andreas Muller has way too much black bile in his body right now and needs to eat some, I think it's hot, wet things. Pretty sure needs some hot, wet things to cure his depression. Cesare Borgia was thrown into an ice bath to treat his severe malaria, which is the extremely high fever of excess sanguineness. But surprised his skin sloughed off him with bed rinse with paper action. Well, you know, you win some, you lose some. That's what we call losing some. Okay, that's just wound word again. Blah 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 blah. Blah blah blah. Psyllium? What about this one? Oh, psyllium. We don't use that one often, save for terrible fevers. Sanguine is hot and wet, phlegm is cold and wet, yellow bile is hot and dry, black bile is cold and dry. Yeah. Yeah. I can smell that one from here. Oh, that's the licorice. Oh. That makes sense. Liquoritium being licorice. That's the licorice root. Sometimes it overpowers the other herbs nearby, and I can't identify them by scent. Oh yes, lungwort. A very useful herb. Sister Lisbeth once came down, or Lisbeth, I suppose, once came down with humor so terrible she could barely breathe. But when Sister Gertrude gave her wine with lungwort, her coughing got better. That's what we call pneumonia, chat. Sister, why don't you have hemlock in the arbot? It's a dangerous plant. When eaten, yes, but hemlock is very good for inflammation of limbs when applied on an injury. I helped Sister Sophie when she dropped a pot on her thumb. The swelling had gone down by the next morning. Fair enough. No, it was something different. Aw. No. No. Mandrake. Hit me with a mandrake. Aww. Thankful? Yes, he definitely picked that one up. Wow. Master Mallow, please shake each jar in order and I'll tell you if it makes the right sound. No, he opened a different jar first. Yes, that was the first jar. That wasn't the second jar. Alright, then the song foil. Incredible. We're rocking it up. Longboard is actually a very old plant similar to mosses, but Lobos rather than fuzzy. That's cool. Yes, that's it. It seems like it's still sealed. Let's see what's inside. Oh my, what? That's a lot of money. I think Guy was hiding all this in the herb hut? But why? Brother Guy... Alright, that's... Brother Guy's embezzling funds. Embezzlement go brrr. You need to put all this here. I'm not sure, but it's definitely suspicious. I should do some more investigating. No, mouse finger is perfect. Would a cat like this do any harm? Look at him. Look at the chin scratches. Do you think someone who likes chin scratches that much could possibly do embezzlement? That's what I thought. Luke, the patron of artists, is also the patron of healers. These medicines were made by Agnes Steinauer and with some help from Sister Gertrude. Look, the cats are immortal. I accept no different. Alternatively, this is secretly Mousefinger Jr. And we're just not gonna worry about it. Whee! Zoom. No, we run into Mousefinger Jr. Okay. Well, fine. Be that way. How dare they also take into account the average lifespan of animals when discussing this whole prospect. Hi. Oh, what a good puppo. No, Andreas, this is the first time you've been happy. Petting him is the first time you smiled in ages. Recipes the brothers have peas. I guess you say Mirabilis is blessed. This is the way. Okay, kitchen cellar. Outside cats do tend to die earlier. But I don't care. Mousefinger is more. Oh. Look at him smile. Big stretch. Oh, you didn't see the big stretch. I promise you there was a big stretch. I assure you there was a big stretch. Big stretch. Yes, yes, more cats. More cats in chat. Did you steal sausage? What the fuck is happening? Oh, did we... Is this our problem? Is this something we did? Oh, no, the peasants leaked everything in here, too. Huh. The Ciborium, a copper other vessel for the Holy Host to sit in before and after the Eucharist, typically made of precious metals. Tabernacle holds the Holy Host in a locked and secure box between services of the Eucharist. Its name means God's holy place. We should still look around. Let's see anything, Master. Oh, look, a journal. Huh, might be Guy's ledger. Let's take a look. Donum a Lamfriedem Burger. Juni a Tempeln sagte Mauri. So my 2 Groschenum and 30 Pfennigum. And then listed as 5 Groschen removed. He's... This isn't subtle. Wait. Total of 5 Groschen and 8 Pfennigum. And then he adds 2, whatever 2F is, just to that in the numbers. Guy is bad at this. He's not making his ledger consistent. Petro Gertner, to Peter Gertner on the 16th of June to a total of 18. Okay, so this is taxes. Why is he recording that as an expense rather than an income? Anyway. Taxes from Peter Gertner received 16th of June to a total of 18 Groschen. Bought 4 acres from Bardenauer on the Ides of June to a total of 1 Gulden and 12 Groschen. Alright, so that's correct. Payment from Nicholas Berger, Collecto, don't know, for the use of something from the woods of Curacao, on the 18th of June to a total of 1 Groschen and 88 Pfennigum. Where is Otto on this? Lavrenbucher, St. Marisue, Petro Gertner. Yeah. Otterto. No, that's Osbert Kunkel. But that's still a total of 10 Groschen. That's Klaus Drucker right there. Above Casper. Oh, yeah. Expensas refectum acerem hospiti abitialis ad. Let's see, an expense for the refacto ascetum. Expense for the repairing of the roof of the abbot's house, 2 other zimmermen on the 16th of June to a total of 8 groschen. I think. If I don't remember what ascetum is, but I think that's how that Latin reads. By the way, Lady Kreka, thank you for the follow just now. Let me take a look at these entries. Yet none of this makes sense. These are the Abbey's expenses. Some of these numbers are awfully high. The Abbey's income. Mostly donations from pilgrims. It's not much. Oh wait, these are supposed to be income? Then it's like the thoughts matter for Landfrey of Bochum and the 2nd of June to a total of 30 groschen. I swear, 30, 45. Fabricato Peregrinorum. Wait a minute. I think I see now. He is using double bookkeeping. A difficult type of accounting to understand. The Abbey is struggling to make ends meet, but the accounts seem to balance out. A payment for 8 loaves of bread, 8 brown breads and white bread to Ulrich Albanus on the Ides of June to a total of 3 groschen and 35 pfennigem. 8 groschen, 0 pfennigem. How does that work? No. This page is not part of the ledger. Whoa. The last donation to the from the family from the Meltzer family is due, I think. I will write to them again. It's just a sheet of parchment with a few notes, but I wasn't tucked away in this ledger like this. The tribute is laid from the Gertner family and the Kreutzers and Martin Bauer and Joanne Bauer. Sumptus Vini. Something doesn't feel right. Don't know who's dumber in this situation, Guy or the other monks that didn't notice. True. Peter has ordered everyone to keep out of the library, including you, Andreas. Why is Peter in charge? I'm sneaking into the library now. Hold up. Not even the crypt was spared from the looting. Nah. Absolutely the fuck not. We don't owe... We don't owe Peter a damn thing. Let's go. Enoch, you doing okay? Who is there? Is you, Lord, come to claim my soul? It's Andreas, brother Enoch. Oh, Andreas. Dear boy. Grayish pallor, shortness of breath, swollen fingers, sweating. You're not well. It is nothing. Your escape was a bit much for my age. I feel aches, a heavy heart, but it will pass if God wills it. Help you, Florian, or do not concern yourself with me, Andreas. The others. Make sure the others are well. I will do what I can. Good. Good. I must rest. Keep holding on, brother Adolf. I'm afraid the man may be in cardiac arrest. God bless you, Andreas. Has anything new come to light in the investigation of Otto's death? I must speak with you urgently about Brother Guy. Go with God, Andreas. Guy and Florian. Florian! Andreas Mahler! I heard word you were passing, but you did not come to visit. Sorry, brother. Come by, Florian. Well, I'm glad to see you again after all this time. I do not see this a sensible act. You've put yourself at risk sneaking in here. I wanted to see how you all are holding up. We are not out of danger, if that is what you have in mind. The peasants are on edge, and we are stuck. They truly want more violence? They may not be trained soldiers, but it does not take much military acumen to burn down a building full of books. If they hurt the abbot or damage the abbey, the Duke's armies will not show leniency. Believe me, a direct confrontation with real soldiers will end in a slaughter. You said as much about the, peasants. What of you and your brothers? Oh, I am well, Andreas. I have been through worse. The Battle of Kosmin, the siege of Dornet's castle, death and suffering. Too much of that, perhaps, for a young man. Long enough ago by now. Here, others who hold my attention. I worry about Folkbot and Rüdiger. They are gentle people not able to withstand this terror and violence. But I am especially worried about Ada. I couldn't find him before the murder. I tried. I looked around and I couldn't find him. Didn't look good. He is old and frail, and his health has grown worse since we fled here. He remarks of pains of the chest. I am cut off from my tools, and were it not so, I am unsure of what he might help against his affliction. Perhaps Salvia Salvatrix or Papaver Somniferum. Nah. What's the worst that could happen with angry peasants in the southern part of the Holy Roman Empire in 1525? Exactly, I'm sure it'll all be fine. Yellow Gentian, Fraxinella, Kranchknabel, even Black Nightshade. Excellent, Andrea. Sister Gertrude may be of assistance to you in this. She knows the plants best. If you happen to find any of these, talk to her. She can prepare what is necessary. Be safe, Andreas. You as well, brother Florian. Volkbert? No. Volkbert, it's going to be alright. How can you know that, Lucas? Trust in Providence, brother. The Lord guides us through Gethsemane. They are going to hurt us. They won't. Look, Andreas is here. He will help. I'll be honest, I'm not sure what I can actually do. I will help any way I can. It's all looking better already, Volkbert. God has sent us a mediator. I don't want to die. You're not going to. We all will. No, please. Volkbert, peace and calm. Think of the heavenly realms above us, where angels sing praise to our Lord every day. Will I join them if I die? We all join the choir. One day. But you won't die here, Volkbert. Listen to Andreas. He will help us. You see, brother, keep doing anything odd around the Abbey? Not that I can remember, but I'm usually busy in the kitchen. Many brothers to feed, after all. Oh no, I told you, Lucas. It's more woe. For all of us. I can't tell you. Guy will be mad at me. He will yell at me again. Alright, there's no need to get upset. Forget I said anything. I'm sorry, Master Mahler. We're gonna let Volkbert be. Volkbert needs hugs. If he wants them. If it's not overstimulating and bad for him. Hey, you two. You busy being cute up here? Sagte Petra. Unser Trottin hat Farsa, sagte Petra. Gewalt? Das erraken ergens immer den Gentenman. Kyrie. Is he speaking? Kyrie eleison, Christe eleison. Is all that Greek? Brother Rudiger, what is that? Is that Greek? Happened on. Nope. That's not. Nope. Himmelreiches. That's German. Happened auch mit Worten Himmelreiches Portem. Daar in Marcheskerjan. This is old. Wait, this is Kyrie eleison, Christe eleison. Rudiger, what was that song? That's old. Cause it's Gerian, like I think it is an old song from around Bad Tölz, Andreas. I like it. A song meant for times of need, and I believe we are in need at this time. Yeah, that's old. That looked like it was either Old High German or Middle High German. Like that's older than the rest of it, because Skerian with an I there is pretty, like, to me, screams early. I worry about Brother Rudiger. He has been deep in prayer ever since we fled into the library. Yeah, the Kyrie eleison is a Greek refrain. But the rest of it's in some, like... I should have transcribed some of it. Boo. Chat, event, it's too late to clip it. Damn. If anyone's able to, like, backtrack to locate bits of it, I can look up where that's from. That is a specific reference. Don't worry, Brother Rudiger. We'll be alright. You'll find out who killed Otto, won't you? I have to. There's too much at stake. See? I told you. Kyrie eleison. Christe eleison. Brother Rudiger, why don't you sing for the others to hear? The others? Yes. All your brothers. You're the cantor. Yours is the voice that leads them. I don't know. You can do it. I believe in you, and Matthew believes in you. We all do. Alright. I suppose I can try.
Sancte Petre Gewalt, das mag in Erian, selmodingen den Mann, Kyrie eleison, Christe eleison, Kyrie eleison, Christe eleison.
Beautiful. Thank you, Rudiger. Das Ermakenderian gech über den... Nein! Habet mit Wortem Himmelreiches Portum. Stay. God damn it. Chat, is anyone able to grab these? I can't grab these lines quick enough. If someone can drop them in chat, I'll look up what song this is. Right, who's good at transcribing? Daar imach erskerian den in WILI nerian. So, Vulia nerian? Vuili nerian? Something like that. Pitemes den Gottes trut alla samand uparlut. Das uns viertadan geverto genaden. Kyrie eleison Christe eleison. And then he just repeats that over and over. Bleh. I did what I could. If anyone managed to grab those and figure out what text that's from, that would be awesome. Petrus lead? Seeing that as an N instead of a W makes sense. Let's see. Let's see what this is. Yeah, that's looking... That's looking pretty likely. Yep, that's it. Thank you, Claiborne. Unser Trochtin hat versal Sancta Petra gewalt das Machinerien ze immodegenten Mann, Kyrie eleison, Christe eleison. Hat on mit Worten Himmenreiches Porten, Heaven's Gate. So this is a song to Saint Peter. And, helpfully, even though this appears Old Bavarian from around 880 AD and the oldest song in Old High German. So it took me a second, but I did in fact get the language correct. So I'll take those wins. I will 100% take that as a W. Even though I did not it took me way too long to recognize that that it was German instead of Greek in a weird alphabet. Of course, Andreas. What do you need? I was hoping to ask you about Brother Guy. What about him? Anything odd lately? I don't know what you mean. I think you may have had a reason to kill Otto. Andreas, that's a grave accusation. Any evidence to support this assertion? A large sacrifice. Rita is blind, Andreas. She likely ran to one of the sisters. Her brother even... Voislav! What are you doing? What are you doing in the sister's garden? I was trying to figure out. Sister Margareta knew it was him, though. She recognized his voice. He's hiding money in the sister's herb, but I don't know why. Yes, I do. The other brothers were affronted when he demanded Father Guerra reveal the Abbey's financial record. Forget to be hiding money. At least I have something to tell Peter. You can implicate one of the brothers in Otto's death? No, Andreas, not for your convenience. Enough of this. God bless you. God damn it. I'm ignoring Guy. Hey Guy, do you care to explain why the hell? Are we gonna throw him under the bus like this? Of course we're gonna. The cache of money of the sister's apothecary? What? Why on earth would he do that? To hide it from the peasants after they left the sacristy. It seems like a stretch. Obvious explanation that he was hiding our funds from the peasants is also the most reasonable one. By the way, Burgundy. Powerful form of Duchy of each of France that became a province of the Holy Roman Empire in 1477, known for its wine, art, monasteries, and courtly fashion. To steal from... That is ludicrous. Brother Guy makes no secret of how he feels to the peasants. The very idea is laughable. Won't hear about this? Yes, yes. Okay, that's fair. Burgundian guns get hype. Hooray. Good to know that we can just sneak in there whenever we need to. That feels good. Can you give a brief synopsis? I mean, it's not something I'm able to elaborate on, Niederfiend, while I appreciate the bits, because it's not something I know anything about. Yeah, it being medieval history doesn't necessarily mean I know anything about it. Right? Like, I'm not an encyclopedia. Oh, the Saeculum Obscurum. Gotcha. I know it by its Latin name better than I know it by its English name. But also, this is some 500 years before our relevant time. A mere 1,000 years. Also, this is Italian. But what is much more relevant, as you referenced it, is known as the Saeculum Obscurum, which the Dark Age. But it's first named in the 16th century, so that does make it much more relevant. So let's take a look at it. Let me take a look at it a bit more. This is a blog that I don't love that. Right, we're going to use this as a as a research training opportunity, because, well, I do not know anything about a whole lot about the 10th century period itself. We are able to, use this as a research opportunity for how do we do things. Wait, you don't have every event in the Middle Ages memorized? Fake historian. Exactly. Isn't that right? Thank you, this dude, for the gift sub to Jokista. Alright. So, firstly, Google.com is bad. Scholar.google.com is based. If we use the Latin search, Saeculum Obscurum, our Dark Ages, this is... Heck. Damn it, this is gonna make it more difficult. Because unfortunately, people are using the Latin term to refer to the broader period. This is... Why is this title in Arabic? Because the text is in Arabic and it just has an English abstract. I was like, why is the search terms coming out in English? And then the title is in Arabic? And then it turned out the rest of it was also in Arabic. That's fair, TBH. Oy vey. That's extravagant. This is not a good summary of my understanding, like very limited understanding of the Saeculum Obscurum. But basically, right, this is a weird period where right, because it's looking mostly like late 9th, early 10th century. So, right, just a period of papal weakness where there's just a lot of turnover. And I don't know in detail all the reasons for it. Great. So, here's the risk of using Google Scholar, is that Google Scholar, just looks for relevant search terms. Right? Google Scholar looks for the words for you search for. Regrettably, if those search terms are Latin jargon, scholars love nothing more than arbitrarily throwing in Latin jargon. Especially if they're German scholars. This one's in Polish, but this is actually a relevant thesis. The subject of this thesis is to analyze the political situation of the state of the church in the age of the Cyclum Obscurum, 882 to 1049. Circulating opinion about this period represents the Catholic Church in gloomy colors, but can we really speak about... I don't love this abstract. Is this a doctoral? Sorry, is this actually a doctoral abstract? So you gotta be better at writing than this. It doesn't say. It doesn't say what level of thesis this is, but it does look like this might be doctoral. First chapter, describe the events of the period of Franconian influence in the other church, 755 till the death of John VIII. Political history, third chapter, and Liutprand of Cremona and the Glabrus Chronicle, both of whom have strong opinions. Is this a bachelor's thesis? Okay, that makes more sense. That makes way more sense. This reads like a BA thesis abstract. Chat, do me a favor. Don't use rhetorical questions in your abstracts. It hurts. Licentiate is bachelor's. Awesome, thank you, Litzel. That's helpful. Also, using the Latin term here seems to pull up a lot of German texts. We got a small problem, chat. I don't read German. So let's just backtrack to Wikipedia, see who they're citing, see where places we should be suspicious of. History of the papacy in the early 900s until 964. Alright. Let's see. The first name defined by Caesar Baronius in the Annales Ecclesiastici in the 16th century, based off Liutprand. As we can guess from the bachelor's thesis that we saw earlier, the Liutprand is an uncertain source, because Liutprand of Cremona has big feelings all the time about everything. Like that. Thank you. Use Church and Society in a Crisis Age by Harley K. Gallatin. Alright, the fact that we're relying on two big sources, one of which is an encyclopedia, doesn't feel good. This is a better encyclopedia to be using, right? Medieval Italy encyclopedia is going to be a superior source to the Catholic encyclopedia. Though I did click over there anyway. Oops. Just because the more specific it gets, the more accurate it's gonna be. Alright, well, I don't love this entry, because while this entry probably gets the details correct of that the annals do say there's a pope, and then 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 another pope, and then a third pope, just for fun. It's bad. Right, I think all I can confidently say about this is that this is somewhere between 60 years and 2 centuries of a fairly weak papacy with a lot of overturn that then gets later characterized as part of the Counter-Reformation and purity movements within the Catholic Church as being a period of immorality. So I hope that was at least, even though that was not the answer you were hoping for, Nader Fiend, I hope that was at least a satisfying answer of some flavor. Hi, Fabian. Go as you please, Andreas, but stay out of the library. Peter's orders. You're free to wander, Andreas, but stay out of the library. Peter's orders. Brother Guy's old desk. Why are there still supplies here? Some writing tools and parchment inside, except... Oh, wait. What's this? Oh, changing back. I'm bad at this. There we go. Thank you, Claiborne. Are those lemons? And the penknife? Huh. Lemon juice can be used as disappearing ink. If Geese hidden anything on that bit of parchment we found in the ledger. It's kind of on his desk to check. We might find something. Whee! Oh boy. Oh, there's definitely something there. There's a lot of something there. Heck, don't light on fire. Don't light it all on fire. Please don't light it all on fire. I just need to be slower. Oh. Close enough. Vroeger als Spritsmacher. Oh my, he was stealing from the Abbey. March alone, he stole almost 7 florins worth of funds. That's as much as my father makes in months. Sent to an account of an Ausbauer man who's responding with the Fugars. Oh, heck. While I knew about this, Guy would certainly have motivation to silence him. At the very least, it's evidence we can use to show Guy was sending skimmed money to a proxy account in Augsburg. Glossary. More glossary. Keep going. So much glossary over here. This is all... This page? That's, yeah, here it is. Prominent, extremely wealthy banking family in Augsburg. They held business interests throughout the free imperial cities and a monopoly on the European copper market. Well, that's pretty impressive. It's a good motive, but I don't know how he agreed. Otto can't read. So someone else would have to find out and tell Otto. Also, Otto doesn't have a ton of access to... doesn't have any access to places where this was taking place, so we can't have observed it. Well, 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 a book? Why would there be a book left out here? Left open. I wonder who is reading this. Which work it is. Oh god, this looks like a book of exorcism and occultism. This is also... Ooh. Chat. What was Otto? Oh, fuck. Otto was going to tell me what the religious experience was. God damn it. He told us it existed and we don't know what it was. That's a good question. Also, this handwriting. Writing on the side is in a different... Huh? Is it? Look, I have no shame, chat. I'm 100%. I can't turn the manuscript so and turn it in my face. And... No? No, it's not. Well... Yeah, you know, I'm not buying that these are two different hands. Unless there's a piece, unless I'm looking at the wrong spot. Unless it's talking about the stuff in the lighter parchment on the right edge, that's clearly in a different hand. But the stuff on the left edge, written sideways, I think is in the same hand as the stuff on the other page. It is missing the big cross strokes, but, like, I'm using, right, and the center of the page next to the Oh God, if you look at the B there, versus the B directly above the Oh God, they have a very similar stroke pattern. They're not quite identical, but they look extremely similar there. Then again, there's some inconsistency in the B's in general, because almost directly across it over... Chat, we're going to switch over to something to give me a... Heck, I don't get a cursor. God dang it. The writing is in Burgundian French. Wood from his door, linen, and wax for candles. Sounds like ingredients. Well, yeah, Kandala. There. The only person I know who speaks Burgundian French in the Abbey is Brother Guy. Is Guy trying to curse Otto? As before, certainly has no place in the Abbey. Alright, we can get a better look at it now. It is in a different language. That's something. I agree that it's in a different language. I just don't totally agree that that's in a different hand. It's in a crappy hand too. Hysteria Rogers, hello. I don't know that I've seen you around in a while. Welcome back. Odd that we keep finding... Look, it's the 16th century, this dude. We can find nothing more than we can find infinite occultism. I'm currently attempting to rack my less than sober brain about the extent to which the hand here and the hand here are the same hand. And the game says no. I don't know that I agree with the game. Look, they've done enough stuff that the game has a lot of good faith for me. But... Right, it's definitely less abbreviated, but that's because it's not Latin. Gotcha. Last time you dropped in was during one of the God of War streams, when it's way too busy for me to meaningfully keep track of chat. So, welcome. I need a good letter that's, like, being written in similar ways. The T's are being written in similar ways there. T with a big, strong crossbar. Yeah, okay, I can see it being different here. Look at I've got the T right here. Versus the T is, like, right in... That's, I just lost it. There it is. Versus these T's. You can see how strong the crossbar is in these hands versus how not strong it is in this one. So I guess these are similar hands, but I accept that they're not quite the same. I buy that. What is the premise of this game? So this game is the best game I've ever played. Let's just start off there. We are Andreas Mahler, an illuminator from the city of Nuremberg. It is the year 1525. We have returned after a 7-year hiatus to the town of Tassing, in southern Bavaria, in order to find that the abbey, which we apprenticed under, is taxing the town way too heavily. The peasants are about to revolt. Our friend Otto Zimmerman, who previously helped us dig up a body, is riling them up even farther. And on the religious festival of St. John's Eve, Otto Zimmerman is murdered by dropping blocks on his face. We are investigating the murder and attempting to prove that the abbot did not do it, so that the peasants will not kill the abbot, and then the Duke of Bavaria's soldiers will not kill the town. So it is basically Name of the Rose, the video game, but it is the best depiction of the 16th century I have ever seen in games, period. So if you like history in games, this is what I do. This is my happy place. And so we are playing it ridiculously slowly while I attempt to figure out, you know, if the Scribble hands match. Because that's clearly interesting content for anyone whose name is not me. And Josh Sawyer. And whose training is not medieval history. Yep. That's bad. So, yeah, these are demons. Oreoth pinen osel triboi, Nurioth belfreth kamoi asteroth, sobranoi and sismaioth. These are the names of demons. This is a powerful ritual. I'm linking Miral to Otto. Well, this name is in the middle of a summoning circle. But why? Le bras de ce provincier bougie. Unfortunately, we are not able to read French. We can read a bunch of languages. We can read Latin. We can read German. We can read Dutch. We can read Flemish. We can read Spanish. We can read a smidge of Arabic. But we can't read French. So we're in trouble. La boisson de son. Ah, never mind. I can chat read French. Some of chat can. Our French natives, I think, are all in bed. As they should be, because it's late. Le boisson. Le boisson. Boisson de son. Puis c'est pour bougie. That seems to be what it reads, if I am transcribing it correctly. Pour bougie should be in the town, right? Unless if I'm extremely dumb, Pour bougie is in the town. Le boisson. The drink of his or her something, question marks, is the beginning. Well, that's different. Alright. This is spooky. Necromancy manual. Welp. I don't know, I'll leave it to folks who actually know a smidge of French to translate it. I don't. It's not a language I studied. I can do Latin, as this game has proven badly. I can do Old Norse, as God of War Ragnarok has proven badly. And... oh, it's missing a G in there, isn't it? Bougie. Yeah, it's not bour. It's boo. Huh. Heck. I don't know. So, someone else knows French better than... people who know French better than I do can translate that. I'm not going to attempt to translate a language I have never studied in my life. Because that sounds like a good way to embarrass myself, and we're only sort of about that on this channel. Now. Onwards. We still have to figure out what we're doing, chat. We haven't figured out how we want to spend time. Besides petting Schlau. Like, we've made a lot of progress. We have basically enough. We have basically... Well, they did mention candles earlier. So that might be fine. Oh, heck. I need to go back to the Abbey because I need to talk to... There were things I was supposed to find, right? No, journal. That's what I need. Edoc's affliction. Speak to Sister Gertrude. Gertrude! I just couldn't remember whether we were supposed to find the plant first and then talk to Gertrude, or talk to Gertrude first and then find the plant. Hi, Matilda. God bless you, Master Mahler. God bless you, Sister Matilda. I did not expect to see you again, Master Mahler. I see the Lord has blessed you. Bless the work of my hands, yes. May you bring his glory in your works. Thank you. How are the other sisters? We pray for the resolution between the Abbey and townsfolk. I don't like the thought of brothers trapped in the library. Who knows how long this could go on? I pray you are right, Master Mahler. Godspeed in your investigation. Okay, bye. Okay, bye. Gertrude. Gertrude. God bless you, Andreas. Brother Adoc is very ill. Yellow gentian or Fraxinella? Do you have any? Oh, my, Master Mahler. Fortunately, we have none in the herb hut right now. There is yellow gentian higher up the mountain, but I recall there being some in the forest as well. If you bring me some, I know of a broth that should be of help. IR Gaming, thank you for the follow just now. Thank you. Whee! Find yellow gentian in the forest. It is candle. Okay. More candles. Trying to brute force it with Google. Well, chat, this is what we call a collaborative effort. And by collaborative, I mean I have delegated all of you to do the work. Oh, that is definitely how it was spelled. Yellow gentian. I assume this is not yellow gentian. Whee. That might be. Yeah. You bet it's in Burgundian, though? It's almost certainly in Burgundian. This game puts almost as absurd an amount of effort into its languages as it puts into everything else it does. Which is to say, did not need to. Happy it did. Hey, guess what? I already found it. God bless you, Andreas. Have you found the yellow gentian? Yep. By the grace of our Lord, fortunately these are a fair bit dry already. Yes, best to grind and mix the gentian into a broth with a few other herbs for calming the body. Take a bit of time, come back later. Perfect. Next playthrough you'll major in French. Perfect. Love it. Act 2, just go be in Paris, engage in dubious theological debates. Prosper? I feel like there's some question marks in there before there's a prophet. Alright, chat. We need to vote. We need to vote. Are we going to go to Lenhart's? Are we gonna go try and talk to, go try and, like, pass out drinks to folks in the inn and see if the, who's his face? The knight. Their name has completely gone out of my head. Or are we going to go to the statue and try and find Roman stuff? Samuel? Landsknecht. There we go. Alright, but we only have two time whacks. Or two, well. Words are hard. 2 time blocks to investigate. And while this one's good, I don't actually know that we're gonna talk to Samuel. Do we have morning? If we have morning, we'll get people day drunk. Lance Connect aficionado. Alright, yeah, chat's outvoting me. No, now chat's even. Forest for plants, Lance Connect aficionado, forest. They are unhinged. That's why I want to talk to them. Because what could be better than talking to the Lance Connected and seeing how unhinged they are. But here's my thought. If we do forest now, we might be able to hit him up for dinner specifically, rather than just assuming that handing out drinks in general will help. That we can just hit him up for dinner. Does that seem like a deal? Master, I think I see an opening behind these trees that leads to a deep area of the forest. Could this be where that mysterious costume figure ran when Otto was murdered? We should see where it leads. Could take a while, though. Let's get going. Oh, Chad. Oh, that's a hippocampus with... Presumably this is the birth of Venus? With Roman graffiti on it. Oh, this is what we're doing. What are these buildings? What is this place? Some kind of Roman ruin, like the aqueduct in the... Immediately worth it! Look, Master Andreas, the flowers! Finally, maybe we'll find something useful after all. Andreas, you're telling me this isn't useful. Oh, okay. Tassiae nymphae H. fontis metellus flavus praefrati USLM Coslaneanus et Kiltus. Can we read it? The Romans believed that keeping the nymph of the spring happy would ensure that water stayed fresh. This sister must have doubled as her temple. Blech. Didn't expect to see any light inside an aqueduct. I need your help reading this. Damp ground and dim lighting are ideal for marsh marigolds. I'm not good enough at Latin to just sight read this, which is a problem. Sextus Tassiae. Yeah. The nymph of Tassius habet. Oh. Okay. So Metellus flavus habet has or dedicates the fountain to the nymph of Tassia. To the nymph of Tassia would be how I read that. I don't love that read of fontis because that's genitive. Right, that is Metellus flavus of the font. Yeah. To the... And do you want to read that as nymph nymphus? You gotta read that as nymph nymphus. Rather than nymphus nymphi. Yeah, don't worry about it. Get this one. Sextus... Well... Cum velet me? Consecratum conservare. Sextus... What? Promessi vidinar 6 denarii. Oh. Pro votolemea posita est. Yeah, I'd have to do some work here. I'll go back through the VOD and translate this Latin again later. I've got... I'll do some work later to translate the Latin. I'll be able to look through the VOD and find it all. This looks like a Roman curse. Hey, look! Is that what it looks like, Master Andreas? Yeah, the costume the killer was wearing when they ran past us. So much for us finding it in the home of the killer. Oh, that's a 3D model. Wait. Wait, are these 3D models the entire time? A lot of this would be fascinating here. True. Oh, shit. I have you, Master Andreas. Caspar, go get help. I won't let you fall. Not about to fall. Not a long drop. Just get someone to bring a rope. I can't abandon you, Master. Bringing me a rope isn't abandoning me. I suppose that is true. Don't. Is that early Roman boar statue? Yeah, well, we're all wet, but I don't think I heard anything. I suppose that it wasn't really that long of a fall. I hurt balefully. The important thing is that you weren't hurt. We're close to getting out of here. We're being a good dad, damn it. Should have a little more light on here. Can't see a thing, can you? I'm gonna look around and see if I can find a way out. Wait, are you smarter than we are? Wait. Caspar is smarter than we are. Does this work? I must admit, I'm impressed. Look at how flammable these brush rags are. Why are you carrying around the flame? Andreas! Andreas. Well, you never know when you might need some fire. True! Andreas. Clearly true. What is this place? A cistern must collect water from the spring to feed into the aqueduct. The aqueduct in... Chat. The ghost in the aqueduct we saw 7 years ago? Until proven otherwise, I'm assuming it's related. Though I appear to have chosen a sticky note with no sticky on my note. I don't even know how that's possible. Take two, this time with emotion. Then all we need to do is follow it back. Perhaps. So this suggests someone with access to the aqueduct entrance is heading over here, right? Right, this suggests Lenhart is very strongly involved, because I don't believe Paul can be involved, because he was a child when Rossvogel was killed. Looks like the tunnel collapsed here, Master. Must lead towards the town. Looks like there's a gap. You want me to try and squeeze through? Perhaps it was Staub. Alright, so there is a path into the town. But I don't want him getting hurt. Also, if Staub did it, it was deserved. Just for the record, if Staub did it, it was completely deserved. Right, the other thing we can know, right, is that whichever entrance goes into the town is not a relevant entrance for what we're doing. Most likely. Because the person in the outfit was pretty big. The outfit itself was pretty big, I should say. How far does this go? Alright then. There's so many paths. There's so many paths here. Is this a door? It appears to be so. A strange one. Where does it go? I'll try to nudge it. Can't say it, but it must have been built much more recently than the rest of the aqueduct. Can we get out this way? What's that sound, Master? Snoring? Is someone sleeping on the other side of the door? My shoving is looking them up. They're either dead drunk or knocked out. What should we do, Master? Not getting through this door, so we need something to lever the rocks out of the way. Of course. Perfect. So we know we're not getting that way. Beautiful. So if we know we're not going this way, that's fine. That puts us in the crypt. So that means anyone from the church could have escaped. Right? We could read this as extra proof that Guy did it. Right? Because Guy has access to the crypt. Guy clearly has reason to be suspicious of Otto to the point of cursing him. So could have fled into the Roman thing, and then escaped through and run all the way back up into the crypt. The ghost we saw. The ghost we saw. Did it jump? Chat, do you remember? Did it jump left to right or right to left? "7 years ago. Left to right. So that's someone going from the town, or from the Roman temple, to the monastery. Which throws more suspicion on everyone in the monastery. Which is as it should be, TBH. This would be great. Maybe we can get out that way. It's too high for either of us to reach. Climb my shoulders and see if you can push it out of the way. Just gonna lay that down. Up. 3, 2, 1, hop. Not with a thing on top of it. It looks like a kitchen? The Abbey kitchen? What else is up there? I don't think so. It's big, though. Of course, we must be under the convent. Do you see any of the nuns? No. Hello? Nothing. Where could they be? I doubt the sisters later in the kitchen all day long. Can you lift the grate off? There's something heavy above me. I can only lift it a little, and I don't think I can squeeze through. I might be able to reach... the poker. I got a fire poker. Oh, it might come in handy. Hold on to it for now. Of course, master. He's helping. We are going to go down this way. And we're going to be a Roman ghost. 3, 2, 1, Roman ghosties. Whee! And who is it? If we go in here, we get more rocks. And these are the rocks for the mill. Well, it goes up, so it probably leads out. I don't think I can squeeze through that gap. Wait, you have the poker from the kitchen. Yes? I think we can use it to move the rocks. Let's try. Wait. I still hear something. You should have come here during the day. I had to. The farmers are out for blood. And? Don't play stupid. We both wanted Otto gone. Now he is. I didn't kill him. Did you? Why would you ask me such a thing? Because of the note, you stupid cow. Because of the note that sent you into hysterics. Because you're behaving like a woman who committed a murder and is afraid of being caught. How could you... Stop. It doesn't matter. I don't care if you did or didn't. He's dead. The idiot peasants can beat the ground with their pitchforks and nothing will come of it. What about the artist, Andreas? He could be a problem. Have you done anything to raise his suspicions? I don't think so. Good. Then just wait. Time will run out for Peter and the rest of his worthless kind. The abbot will stay in power. Pilgrims will keep coming to the shrine and staying at your inn. Yes, good. Thank you for putting my mind at ease. Be quiet. Go home. Don't come here again unless it's for a quick fuck. If you want comfort, talk to your fat husband. Don't bother me with your hysteria. Wow, this dude sucks. Of course. I'm sorry. Alright. Well then. Well, he is a medieval miller. Yep, that sums it up pretty nicely. Glad we're finally out of there, Master. What a strange adventure. Do you think Mistress Hannah could have killed Otto? She's only been pretending to care about the town's safety. She's only concerned with the shrine staying open. Leonhardt's so misogynist he believes in hysteria before it's even a clinical term. True! Why would that make her want to kill Otto? If the peasants overthrew the abbot, they might loot or destroy the shrine. Without the hand of St. Moritz, there's not much reason for pilgrims to travel to Kirsau. There'd hardly be any visitors to the Golden Hand. Exactly. Now we know Hannah has a motive. It's possible she'd kill to protect her family's inn. We need to talk to Nico and Killian to see just how committed she was. But first, let's go back to the Golden Hand and clean up. People get suspicious if we walk around town like this. Good idea, Master. Chat! 12 hours remain? I'm not ready. Christ. Okay. So, let's update our... Right, let's get some updates up, right? So, we gotta do some stuff here. Firstly, all of this, pointless. Conspiracy boards completely changed. This was networking on this. Clayboard. I have excellent news for you. Alright, so. Otto is the victim. Boom. Down on the bottom, down here. What evidence do we have for Guy? Occultist. Curse Auto. Motive. Embezzlement. Right? Did I miss anything? He's an occultist who, we found a text that curses Otto. His motive is that he's been embezzling funds. If Otto found out, that could be extremely bad, and also put Otto in a really strong position. My question, though, is, right, if he found out, why didn't... Or if he suspected, why wouldn't Otto tell... Well, Otto and Guerra just don't get along, period. So, perhaps that doesn't matter. The other one is Hannah. Motive. Keep in open. Opportunity is easy. Right. Opportunity is easy. Because everyone had an opportunity to. Means also easy because anyone with a knife can cut that rope. But reason to suspect, evidence, overheard convo with Lenhart. Perfect. Alright, so those are our two main suspects, chat, right? Is there anyone else who is a plausible suspect right now? I don't think so, right? Because Guerra certainly isn't. None of the other monks are. None of the other monks even seem remotely plausible. So we're mostly looking at those two. And of the townsfolk, everyone likes Otto. Right. The Gartners are probably all out of the picture. Right. They're not suspects because they're all related to him. And they also seem like fundamentally decent people. Of them, here's a fun question. Of the two, right now, he looks more plausible. You know, Lenhart's not the killer. Lenhart has an alibi. Lenhart has an absolutely foolproof alibi. So he's a bastard, and I hate him, but we can't actually accuse him. Because he's with people from well before the murder up until the moment of it. Because he's with Werner Stoltz and he's with Balthazar. I wish I could accuse him, because he's a bastard and deserves to hang, but, yeah. No one else in the townsfolk right? Martin does, I think we can scratch off as a suspect. Oh yeah, let's hit Martin. Martin. Not actually Martin. Argued with Otto once. There's our third suspect. Not really a plausible suspect. Sorry. As much as it's fun that Martin isn't actually Martin, right? He has no reason to get exposed. Otto has no reason to try and expose him apart from a vague sense of morality. Really? Come on. And he has no motive, right? We have no evidence to suggest that Otto knew. And we have minimal evidence to suggest that if his identity is threatened, Martin would immediately jump to murder. Open question right now. Why, after telling everyone to go into the forest to pick herbs in defiance of the abbot's orders, did Otto Zimmermann go to the Rathaus? That is my single biggest question right now, because that is why we hope that he got a purple note to tell him to go to the Rathaus. Yeah, Otto could have been blackmailing Martin, but why would yeah, right, that's the train of thought, right, is that Otto somehow figured out that Martin isn't Martin, blackmails fake Martin to get him to support the cause. Martin thinks it's too risky because he doesn't want to get found out, and so resorts to killing Otto to try and defuse the whole situation. The thing is, fake Martin doesn't seem... If he can't... True. Otto can't read. And so whoever it is must have be able to tell Otto in person and have it be someone that Otto trusts. Right? We also know, Hannah got a note. Lenhart might have gotten a note. And we're looking to see if Guy got a note. Right now, the single biggest thing that's pulling me to... Right, the first time the thread puller gave everyone who might have a reason to do the kill a note in the hopes of getting one of them to do it. Nah, see, Polywoggy, follow there or goes there regularly makes sense any other night of the year, except St. John's Eve after he explicitly said everyone's going to the forest. Saying this is coincidental that he's over by the Rathaus doesn't make sense. So, yeah. That's where I think we're at in terms of the conspiracy board, right? Is there anything big I missed? Besides, I didn't examine everything at the Roman ruins and that makes me sad. I think otherwise we've gotten basically everything. Right? Good update, chat. I'm gonna forget this all by next week, that's why I wrote it all down. The herbs? The herbs are a side quest. I'm hoping Ada can give us useful things, but the herbs at the moment don't seem relevant to... Oh yeah, let's just say the killer. Martin and Birgitta said they were going home instead of into the woods. That's true. Guy was also not going into the woods because Guy didn't Guy, right, I think only Voislav among the monastic brothers was participating at all. Um, let's see. Killer. Didn't go to woods. What else can we guarantee about the killer? War. Large. If it was the killer who fled, right? If the person we passed was the killer, that suggests it was Guy. Because the passageways are blocked. We didn't figure out where the one in town goes to. The blocked passage into town proper. We don't know where that goes to. So someone could squeeze through there theoretically. But if it didn't, that strongly suggests it's Guy, because the only other place it can go is it can go to a blocked passageway, which we unblocked. But it was blocked on the night of the murder. It can go to the convent, or it can go to the abbey, the abbey crypt. We don't have any suspects in the convent at the moment. So that's not really sensible. So that leaves the abbey crypt, and that means one of the brothers, and the only brother we're suspecting is Guy. So, I think that pretty much says, right, that significantly suggests that that's Guy. For the Baron, it was, Matilda, Ferenc, Lucky, and Atilia. Let's see. Didn't go to woods. What else? We don't know anything else about the killer right now. We don't know. I guess. Right, because we can't even guarantee that they're on good terms with Otto, because they don't. Or that Otto trusts them, because we don't know that. Alright, so I think that's the conspiracy board updated from today's stream. I will organize those into something reasonable later. Yes, the suspects are not the same as the Baron, and we saw the ghost for the Baron, correct. That is true. The other option is that the person we ran past was the thread puller, right? So that one of the monastic brothers is the thread puller and was going back after the Baron's killing and was fleeing after confirming Otto was killed for this one, right? That's the other way of reading that. Is that whoever ran past us in the woods is the mastermind of the entire suite of murders. Which we know virtually nothing about. That's something that's so frustrating right now. I don't know. I don't know who the thread puller is, and I feel like I should have enough information to make a good guess. My money had been on Cecilia for Act 1, but she's dead. So... the problem is, I feel like it's gotta be one of the sisters, because who else is able to deliver notes to Matilda and thereby enter the sleeping quarters of the convent? No, it can't be. As much as I want it to be the abbot, it doesn't make sense to be the abbot, because the abbot has no reason to kill Baron Rossvogel. The abbot has literally no reason to want to orchestrate the murder of Baron. Illuminata. Ooh, that's an interesting thought. Well, that's not a bad thought at all. We know she's resentful of the abbey. We know she's stupid, highly educated. we... Huh. We did get the fire iron just now from the Common's kitchen, yeah. But I don't know... Don't know how if that's related or that's just convenient. Yeah. Illuminata is not a bad shout as a choice here. I need to think on that. But that is a job for future us. That is a job for future us to be sure. True, anyone who can get into the aqueducts can also get into the convent. So it doesn't... It's suggestive, but it's not definitive. So, yeah. Good. Fair shout. This game. Dang it, I'm gonna be so annoyed I can't play this game for a whole week. Or that I'm not... Rather, not can't, won't be playing this game for a whole week. But yes, anyway, let's call it here before I go completely off the deep end. Look, we have got enough Pepe Silva here for one day. I think, maybe. If you enjoyed this stream, and I certainly hope you did, do make sure you consider following and subscribing to the channel. It means a lot. It helps me be able to keep doing this. Because this takes a lot of time, and so the support is super appreciated. As always, the VOD of this will be up, Margrethe did. Anyway. I super hope you all enjoyed this. The VOD of this will be up on Twitch for the next 60 days, it looks like, or 30 days, and on YouTube at some point when I'm stopped procrastinating that. Yeah. But yeah, we're gonna be on vacation the rest of this week, so I will be back probably the 18th. Yeah, probably 1 week from today. But I will let you all know that the Twitch page will get updated, all that jazz. So until I see you next time, have a lovely rest of your day. I love this game so much. Alright. Have a good night.